coming back on this video on the United Nations and how they operate, and the United States is nothing more than a UN corporation anyway, so the United States is a corporation. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the billionaire philanthropist George Soros, who was in the news this weekend with Obama, supposedly is being tried in Switzerland. Crazy stories, man. He's not being tried in Switzerland and not going to prison, and Obama is not going to jail for high treason. These are all just manipulated media stories. They're garbage, man. I'm going to get into this video a little bit and talk a little bit about, again, I talk about the Royal Monarch Crown Control Council 13 and the Committee of 300, which are the presidential, the presidents, the subfamilies that work right under the Royal Monarch Control Council, and how they manipulate politics behind closed doors. And we all know that the Rothschilds, I call them the Red Shields, because in German the Rothschild means Red Shield, and Red Shield are the seven tribes, they are the seven tribes of Edom. So kind of setting that record straight on that, how that works. But they basically have sold out and everything. They own a lot of these Vril Society UN corporations, such as L. Litton Corporations, which is a high-tech bioengineering corporation, and IG Fabian, all run by the Vril Society, the Cabal. These are all dangerous pharmaceutical engineering companies that manufacture Morgellons. They put them in the vaccinations. They actually have a facility and stuff. They also do interact with chemtrails. They're pretty wild, man, and they actually can cure many cancers, but it's all suppressed. They can actually turn off a gene in your body that produces a protein that actually will cure cancer, protects your body from cancer. All this technology is crazy. All the AIDS virus and everything, how that came about, and they basically create these in a lab. And I also want to get into George Bush a little bit in it, and how he falls into play with the Committee of 300, because these are the presidents of the U.S. who are Nephilim bloodlines. They're Rh negative. They have the protein molecule on the red blood cell that distinguishes them between most people that are Rh positive. And the O negative draconian DNA that's out there right now is also, like I said, a very small percentage of people have it. They have an extra chromosome in the body, a few extra chromosomes in the body, and basically they are, I call them hermaphrodites. Lucifer is a hermaphrodite. He has both sex organs, male and female, so these are definitely abominations, and George Bush even said at his father's funeral, we can't dance and we can't sing, we just don't fit into society, which they really don't. And their cells are different, they can do a lot with them. But anyway, I want to get into the video. I want to kind of make it brief. I don't have a lot of time on my phone, but I want to talk also about the National Technology Transfer Center and why the world is in the chaotic situation that we're in, and due to the fact that a lot of our Mohammed bin Salman is the Prince of Saudi Arabia, and basically we rely upon, I bet it's like 70%. We get a lot of our stuff from Saudi Arabia, and if we they're making trillions off this. If we convert over to free energy, electric cars and H2O-driven vehicles, we'll be in much better shape. We don't need these emissions anymore, but that's not the issue and everything. They'll go bankrupt. The drug trade is not really enough. It fuels a lot of it, but the opium fields and stuff that they have in Laos and they've had in Cambodia the Vietnam was not about a war, it was about drugs and making money. And, you know, all wars are planned 30 years in advance. It's all fucking stage stuff. They plan these wars. They don't amount to taking over or winning. This is about the De Niro. And I'll get into a little bit more. But I know a little bit of what's happening with it. The world is manipulated by money. And technology I want to get into on the table is that I was in Pine Gap and I witnessed this dark matter room, which deals with higher entities, higher vibrations, tapping into and seeing dimensions that are not really, you're not supposed to be able to see. Well, they have another technology. We're using telephones, cell phones now. We didn't have, cell phones have been around a long time. They just haven't come out. I mean, CERN had the first cell phone back in 1970 where they built, or had the cell phone, the flip phone. It was actually an HTC touch phone CERN had in 1970. So, you know, 50, 40 years are always in advance. NASA's 50 years in advance. But anyway, let's move on with it. I want to talk about this NeuroPod that's going to replace telephones that they have right now, and it's on the table. It's already being used. It uses a neuro chip in it, and it reads the algorithms, or the alpha, beta, and theta, delta waves. It's sensitive. It has some type of a, like we have, you know, chips and everything. Well, this basically, in short term, transforms your thinking into a reality somehow, and what you think becomes reality on the other end. You just think of a number, and it basically will dial out for you. And it has more applications than that. It uses some type of a neural, similar to a DTMF decoder, a dual-tone multi-frequency decoding device, but it's a neural chip in it somehow. And I'll get into it in another video how it works. But basically, you can communicate telepathically and make a phone call. And it has a linking device also that your reality, your thinking, when you think of something, it shows up on the screen what you're thinking on the other end. And I'll get into a little bit more. It becomes a reality you're thinking. They're able to bring out what you think and how you feel to somebody else. I'll get into another video. That's on the table right now. But also, we need to get into this video and talk a little bit about, I talked about IG Fabian and L. Litton, these corporations. They are really hostile in the sense that they create these Morgellons, and these Morgellons are really nasty. They've been putting them in the vaccinations, and makes you really tired and causing people to crack their cars up, and interferes with your neurons in your brain. You can't think right. They're terrible, man. They're nasty. The cats store the Morgellons in their intestines and shit, and they can pass it on to you. I may sign this video out. I got to sign out. I can only do so many minutes on it, but I also want to cover in short term a little bit also about the galactics in terms of bringing technology to us. The Galactic Federation of Planets and the Galactic Federation of Lights are two different celestial conglomerate agencies that work in space and everything. And don't get them confused. One is good and one is bad. I'm not bad mouthing the Galactic Federation of Light, but the Galactic Federation of Planets is basically deals with the Andromedas, and I'll get into them. But the technology is on the table, and they're working with commercializing some of this free energy, which are anti-mass field generators. I got into another video. They're going to commercialize some of these free energy devices into the commercial sector. I'm going to do a part 2 on it, folks. Bill signing out. The world is not what we think it is. I'm going to come up on a part 2. Peace.